The silence in the city that night was deafening. The streets of Ortengard are usually bustling with activity as traders, slavers, and mercenaries from the east gather at this massive capital city to ply their trade. Streets are often so crowded that rooftops are accessed with ladders to accommodate the crowds. Tonight, though, there is an eerie silence. A massive army of Manchug Khan has assembled and seems to be preparing for the very ending of the world. Fear and dread grip the city like a vice. Outside the city, the rumor has been spreading of a terrible invasion. Like a nightmare, the city is slowly surrounded by a fell and deadly enemy, for the Aserai have arrived. Their leader, known to the Gazette only as Kol Vaklor, seems to be the very devil himself, a hulking mass of steel and fire, wielding death and fear like a huge glaive. Days of siege has reduced some of the city walls to rubble. The defense force is massive, and no one doubts the courage of the Khanate. But is there a weapon on the earth that can stop this force? Can death itself actually be held off? add some party size, of course, and carrying capacity. That one I want to save. Let's see, for the start of an episode, let's... One more guy we can do here. We can do a couple more perks here, and then I'm going to fire up an episode. Of course, I'm already narrating, so it doesn't really matter, but we'll do our normal introduction here, and we will save a couple of these key perks for the start of that introduction. So I think that's good. Let's go ahead and... Army's banged up, but it's alright. Yeah, this will work. Alright, so welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Our YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, and especially Advanced Battlefield Command and Tactics. And welcome back again to our Aserai campaign. As you can see, we're starting to really dot the map with that red and black T. It kind of looks like a double-sided axe, a T for Tactical Enlightenment. You guys can call it whatever you want. I just think it looks badass. So we're starting to expand here, and good things are happening around us. Down here, the Aserai are fighting the Southern Empire. We're still at war with Khazate, but we're really starting to hold over this guy here. Of course, the Southern Empire still has a much larger force than us, but they're busy, and Valandia on the other side of the map is just a juggernaut. Now, they haven't attacked us in a long time, so it's not a big deal. We've got this other army, and he's actually... Where's he going? He's going... Kimli Castle. Where the fuck is that? This guy just reassembled his army. We just dumped off a bunch of troops to him. We fought a Sturgeon force, and he's heading off. I hope he doesn't attack Sturgia. I might disband his army if he does that shit. Where's he going? Ah! So, that might be... That's the last Khazate castle. So it might be another attempt here to cut the jugular of the Khazate, right? The Sturgeons are busy. I'm pretty sure the Sturgeons are fighting the Western Empire. They are. So that means they're being assailed. The Southern Empire is a long ways away from us. Valandia is on the other side of the map, and the Southern Empire is busy right now with the Aserai. It's kind of us and the Khazate right now, and they look mighty vulnerable to me. So one of our companions is heading up to this other castle. I think it might be time to try to go for the jugular here, right? Try to eliminate the Khazate from this campaign. They've been at war with us for literally 7 or 8 straight episodes. I got some perks here I held off until we started this episode to do. We add some polearm to Wazu, and this gal finally gets this incredible medical perk. Right? I wanted to make sure you guys saw this because this has been something I've been building on for really the whole campaign that we've had this gal. She's got a couple perk points. We're still going to keep her in the army. What I mean by that is the main army. I'm probably not going to make her a clan. I just want to have those hit points and those extra good troops in our army. She's going to be essentially a lieutenant, kind of like I was expecting Wahan the Golden to be. He got killed in battle, and so this new healer gal, this Irish-looking gal, can come with us and help us out. Now, I'm always doing quests as we conquer territory. I do this kind of mindlessly because, of course, we want all of these merchants to give us troops, right? I've said that over and over again, but I'm just going to put that little disclaimer in every once in a while. So he goes to Kimli Castle. We take Chai-Kand, and then they only have one city left. We've got this companion that was chasing a fucking guy across the whole map. Hopefully she gets back in time. And all they'll have left is Ortengard, right? That huge city there. That must be their capital city. This disconcerting here. This guy's going into an area where there are Khazate. I think that's Khazate and Sturgeon tracks. I'm not sure how that works, but that's a bit worrying. We'll keep an eye on him. If he gets attacked imminently, we will go rescue him. But hopefully he can break free and go attack that castle. That might be more than he can handle. Maybe we'll have to help him with the castle as well. But we're going to go ahead and shred... well, there's your Khazate force. It was Khazate tracks. Fortunately, they're not attacking the other guy. Looks like they're coming to Chai-Kand. We're not about to let them get inside the garrison here, right? There's already going to be 800 troops or something huge inside that city. So we need to ambush this force of Khazates. They're coming up here. Looks like they're going to hit a couple villages and then the city. Let's ambush these bitches. Usually the AI doesn't have terrific scouting, and so you can simply slide off of their path, so to speak, and then slide back into it. Now I want to look inside this village and see if there's a layout to destroy this force. Of course, No, this is not very conducive. Of course, they may attack us, but I want to make sure that we have battle here, right? We need to destroy this last big Khazate force, because if you're going to annihilate a kingdom, if you're going to annihilate a kingdom from the map, of course, they can't have any big armies left. I think how it works is as long as they don't have a castle or a city for like 24 hours or 3 days or something, then they're eliminated. All their nobles become, oh, they're beelining us. Evidently, they've got better scouting skills than I thought here. These guys are like, yeah, we see you, motherfucker. All right, good. We want to fight. I'm glad you can see us. You can see us carve your asses to pieces. This is a horse archer heavy army, which of course I should have I do expect by this stage. They've had a lot of archer heavy armies. So I'm going to change a banner here. We recently picked up this Testudo standard. We only have 1 or 2 in the whole army. And that's going to help Wazu survive longer here. Of course, we got the Masterwork glaive that we got from, I think it was that huge battle against the Sturgeons. That's going to serve him well. It's almost like a longer, faster axe that, of course, doesn't kill 2 people at once. It's really fast, and it's a little bit longer than the axe he has. Now, there's a bull right here. We can definitely use that. What else we got here? We got trees. This is a good battlefield, actually. A good location to make a defensive stand. Of course, they attacked us. That means they must come to us, which is one of the imperative parts of Bannerlord that I think a lot of players, probably not you guys, but a lot of people don't understand, is that he who initiates combat must, on the campaign map that is, he must continue that initiation in the battlefield, right? They must come attack us. We can literally sit at the edge of the map. We're not going to be cowards and sit at the edge of the map, but I'm not averse to using this terrain here. So we're going to do a ring defense. I don't want to say I invented this tactic, but this is a tactic that I really fine-tuned, and I named it the Inner Circle of Hell. There's a really cool episode on the channel. You put crossbow off to the side because they can square like that, and archer division in the middle. I don't think we have enough shock troops. For some reason, we don't have any infantry in this battle. We have 50-something. Oh, I know what's going on. We don't have the battle size mod going on, so the army seems small. It's just because that mod is not active. Sometimes I disable it to do some things, and sometimes when I try to siege a castle, the castle will have all kinds of problems with it, and I'll have to disable the mod. So anyways, back to this. So skirmishers behind here, the 6th Corps, and then horse archers, the 7th and 8th, the elite cavalry. We will be using them sort of to counterpunch here. But there's a ridge here. There's a pretty sharp gradient there. This is going to work beautifully. You see how the horse archers have to rush up to this wall, and they can't shoot a single arrow until they come over that gradient? Now, that's going to be a problem. So are these fucking trees. Some of these battlefields are absolutely tortured with these half-cut trees where your horse gets completely stopped over and over again. I fucking hate these trees, and they're all over the place. Let's see how fast this glaive is. Pretty fast. That's some good damage right there. And of course, immediately we're getting more polearm skill. So you can see how quickly you can become a juggernaut in this game. I mean, at this stage, the campaign is like 48 hours old or 46 hours old or something like that. I don't know exactly. Of course, because a lot of the game, you can't do the years because a lot of the game we were in that time warp. You see how they come over that ridge, and it's just a volley of arrows, right? We've got almost half our army has projectiles between the crossbow, actually even more if you count the Jav Cav. Probably 80% of our army has something to throw in the enemy's face, right? It's just a mass assault of projectiles. So I'm bringing the 8th Corps over here. The 1st Corps is put into a square. We're going to drive some cavalry right to the edge of this lip here. Basically, if they want to come over that lip, we'll happily fight them. Oh, shit. But I'm not going to charge too hard here. Damn, I took a lot of damage from one arrow. It must have got me right in the face. Even with our new fancy helm, it still did a lot of damage. So this is the axe. It's manifestly shorter reach than the polearm. The polearm is probably 30 more reach, which is huge, right? I'm going to be able to reach out and just maul these guys. Kaboom, right? Kaboom. And it's fast. It's not as fast as... I built a custom polearm in one of my campaigns. It's not nearly that fast. I'm going to try to take this noble out before she can regain the rest of her troops. Look at how quickly she's maneuvering. That only comes with really high skill. Of course, these are I'm not. Never mind. This only happens when you have the strength and AI mod, right? That gal probably has 300 riding skill. All right, these horse archers are toast. Let's see if the rest of their forces are coming up. They do have, it looks like the shadow of some forces are coming up on the ridge there. I'm trying to look through all these Khazate as I cut off heads. It's almost like the no-look shot in basketball. They're just holding a line right at the edge of our cavalry here. How interesting. Their archers are behind, just raining in shots, but we're counter-firing, right? Our archers are doing at least as much damage as theirs. Let's flank these guys and fucking destroy them. I can bring cavalry in the 3rd Corps to the enemy's left flank, our right flank over here, and just drive it right into them. They're starting to switch places, right? The archers are trying to move forward, but that's not going to work out very well for them either, right? They're moving up face-to-face, point-blank range with archers. And crossbow, you can hear all the bolts hitting in here, and it's just dropping guys left and right. Now we can drive in some divisions here, right? The 7th and 8th are on the other side. Let's bring the 2nd Cav right the fuck through this division here. Now, there are going to be losses here. There's a bunch of heavy infantry at the front. That's okay. We're going to be able to fucking totally envelop these guys. Nobody's going to be able to shoot, and they're going to get fucking mangled. I mean, that's... I don't say that word very often, fucking mangled, because these guys, now they're getting shot from the front, attacked from behind, surrounded by heavy cav. None of their archers could shoot. It's a bad place to be. They're starting to panic. I heard a guy say, run, run! You know, they shouldn't be routing already, but some of their troops are, because they're in a fucking washing machine of death. And they're still in like a big fishball there. They're getting a huge wave of reinforcements. I don't know if I can get our troops positioned on this ridge quick enough to counter this next bank. I think it makes more sense for us just to hold defensively, but we'll... Nah, those troops are going to take a while to get up there. Let's hold this back position here. When the enemies attacked you, right, and you have this advantage, the initiative, and require them to attack, use your position, right? Make them come to you unless you have the advantage. Unless there's a good reason to go the other way, just pull back, right? Reorganize your lines and repeat the same massacre, right? There's no answer. Oh, shit. These guys, I got to get these guys back. There's no answer for what we just did that the enemy can deal with. What are these guys running sideways for? Get over here. 4th, 5th, and 6th, right on this side of the line here. 1st Infantry will bring our cav divisions around the side in case we want to do some pincher action. Let's see what's going on here. So another huge wave of horse archers, right? I got a glaive for these motherfuckers. It just literally carves them apart. They're all trying to block, and they block one shot, and 3 more shots just fucking shreds these guys. It is nasty. And this is the first really nice drop we've got, right? This is, I think it's a masterwork blade, right? So it's not legendary. That would be sick. But this is really good. It's a really nice weapon. All right, let's drive the 2nd and 3rd cav right at these guys. These horse archers went over this lip, so they're being shot at. Let's bring in shock troops here and just blow these guys off the ridge. If we catch any of these guys here, it's just going to be a pulverizing. They're reforming pretty well, but we have battered these horse archers. Battered the Khazate in this battle. Frankly, we have absolutely eviscerated the Khazate in this campaign. Especially since we've been our own kingdom. It's been an absolute beatdown. Anybody having difficulty with the Khazate, if this is for some reason the first episode of the campaign that you're watching, you need to watch more of the campaign. I assure you, by the end of 5, 6, 7 videos, you will be mauling the Khazates. And here's a lord. We're always going for their lords, right? In fact, I'm just going to wade into their archers here. Look at it, sparked fear in their whole forces. Of course, they're just reforming, but we're gonna role play that Wazu rolled in here and their whole army fled. Now we're gonna kill their lord right in front of their face. We're just gonna hack these fucking troops down. And of course, now watch them spear me. I got a javelin for your back, dude. And we just killed the leader of their army. Their whole force is disorganized and fleeing. I mean, it's a bad situation. The enemies are reeling here. Their forces are trying to pull out of here, and I've got cavalry charging, right? Very soon, we're going to have a bunch of very angry cavalry behind these guys. The 2nd Corps should be coming up. Here they come. Kill them all, right? In they comes. The spears start hitting guys in the face, and the enemy here is just, I mean, they are just shredded. Although they are bringing up reinforcements. I mean, I forgot we were outnumbered almost 2-1 in this battle. I guess before I get too fucking confident here, we better keep fighting. Let's pull these divisions back here. Let's spread out these divisions in big, wide flanking formations and finish the deal here. All right, we're going to consummate the deal here. Let's keep enveloping. No, right? I'm not about to let their archers just sit in the back and prick us. They have no cavalry, right? We have the... Well, actually, those are all horse archers, but their archers are just right here, sitting here vulnerable for our archers, or our cavalry, rather. We'll just ride these down. Just like that guy in Braveheart. Our cavalry will ride them down like grass, right? That is literal here. These guys are toast. They should stand still and just shoot. At least they would inflict some casualties. Instead, they're doing the worst thing they could do. They should just dig a grave. Alright, so our archers on the other side by now should be stabilized. They should be standing still, at which point they're scorching their horse archers. That's probably a lot of what the death spam is here. The enemy at this stage has gone through 3 waves, or at least this is their 3rd wave of horse archers. So these guys don't have any good horse archers left, right? This is just the last recruits that are left in their army. And those guys look like they're routing. They're running distinctly sideways, right? That's usually not a sign of a reforming. That's a sign of how the fuck do I get off this battlefield because we are being absolutely pulverized, right? This guy is like, follow me, we're out of here, save yourself, and he couldn't save himself. And this battle is over. And this is kind of the death knell for the Khazate. A little tiny part of me is sad for the Khazate. I know it's a digital game, but this kingdom has fought like wolves, trying to maintain their kingdom. We've been invading. We've been very slowly eating up territory and dominating them in large pitched battles. They're fighting like dogs. Every time we fight them, their militia seem to fight it out to the last. We'll see what these guys do. These guys look like they're just going to flat out rout. But this Khazate force, I give them credit. Like the AI, of course, is being ran by code, but it really does. There's an air to Bannerlord at times that feels like realism, right? Like these are real oppressed Mongols after the rise and fall of Genghis Khan or whatever, and these guys are the ones suffering the dark years of their kingdom, right? These guys are being ridden down as they try to run back to their toothless wife and their little tiny hovel. But look at that shit they're parrying, right? These guys are fighting back and trying to survive. Like I said, it's a video game, but you almost feel bad for them. All these little peasants with their Santa hat and their sickle, they're all trying to take off this giant armored Aserai Arabic fella, just trampling him tyrannically on his horse. But I digress, right? It's a video game, these are digital pixels, and it is fun just to mangle, especially listen to all the death sounds of these guys as they get absolutely shredded, like Neo in the Matrix style, right? We're just gonna come through here in slow-mo and just shred this whole force. These guys won't run. It's amazing. The battle would be over. I'm not doing this to farm. It's not like I'm getting a lot of EXP from nomads. Look at this. They just turned to fight. I was going to say, this battle is not over. It hasn't come up with the you have won little message, right? This fucking Khazate force, just like I was saying, they really are fighting to like the last 10 guys, which is admirable, but obviously foolish. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. Sometimes you gotta run and fight again some other day. These guys holding up their pitchforks and just getting cut into pieces. I don't think this would be a thing in real life. I don't know. Maybe there was some very rare cases historically where people like this fought to the last man. I think almost every time they throw down their pitchforks and beg for mercy. Under 100 casualties here as we just completely... I mean, this Khazate force got evaporated. That was... what, a 15-to-1 kill ratio? And we are playing the game not on Bannerlord difficulty, but on Ultra Bannerlord difficulty. Their lords have extra hit points and all kinds of skill points. Our army is now turned into an enemy-devouring machine, right? This is just a death fucking maw cutting its way through the Khazate. We'll see if there's any good loot here. There is. A legendary Jareed. Now, this doesn't really matter. You know, for all intents and purposes, it's kind of worthless. I might be able to score some monster headshots and shit like that because it's a stack amount of still 5. I wish it was a stack of like 7 or 8 or 10. Then it would be uber. But that it's a stack of 5 kind of makes that a little bit of a buzzkill. Still, we'll put it on there. It looks savage, right? He's got a legendary Jer Reed. And we've got a date with Chai Khan here. Our other hero, Jaim the Prince, is very slowly... Look at this shit. Guzid the Warmonger. Now he wants war with the Valandians. He seriously has one city, 2 cities maybe, and 1 castle. And he just declares war on the Valandians. The biggest empire in the whole game. I mean, you could probably hear me on the edge of laughing because that's amazingly, aggressively, to a point of comical. Right? The Aserai have a little tiny kingdom, and they declare war on the biggest kingdom in the game for no reason, right? It's not like the Aserai or the Valandians are right there. That is hilarious. It fits perfectly with Guzid's little role-playing element I put in this game, right? If you didn't see 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes ago, this guy was literally fighting everybody and refused to give peace. He's like, fuck no, we're fighting everybody. He's still doing it, evidently. It's almost like his... It's almost like as a kingdom, some of the AIs are different, right? Well, his is ultra aggressive. His is totally Walter Sobchak from The Big Lebowski, right? Fuck you. What's mine is mine, right? Just totally. If you guys have never seen that movie, it's a classic. It's eclectic. It's a very strange movie. It's the Coen brothers, right? Which are some of the strangest, but also some of the best movie directors of our time. All right. Pump up the Black Prince, a little bit more influence for that guy because we like what he's doing. You can think of influence feeding to companions as giving a treat to a dog. Look at these sturgeon motherfuckers. I thought these guys would be busy with the Western Empire. Instead, they're going to raid our shit. You motherfuckers. Sieging Akazir Castle. So that's right here. And this is one of those situations I'm going to ignore them. The reason? They don't represent a threat to me. There's no way they're going to attack me, I don't think. And I want to eliminate the Khazate. If I just let the Khazate stay on life support, they will pop up again like mushrooms or dandelions. And incidentally, I have a really good analogy for that. It applies to... You motherfucker, this fucking minor clan just abandons us mid-siege. We might have to do some minor clan beheading here. Nuldan, the fucking... what are they? The Gilman. They just walked away. For no fucking reason. It's not like he hasn't been getting enough battle or loot or whatever. That guy, we're probably paying him a fortune and he's going to go fight for the Battanians. Fuck him. Might have to bitch slap him the next time we see him. It's too bad you can't execute guys for that, right? Like this is clear treason. We're in the middle of a desperate war here, at least for the Khazate. Yeah, the Sturgeons are sieging, and this fucking guy just abandons us. All right, so the analogy here, and in 10 seconds what I'm doing here, of course, is I'm building trebuchets because we're not only going to blast down their siege, but I think we'll blow a hole in this castle. There are 1,500 defenders, and we only have 1,000 troops, and there's nobody else coming. And you see, Wazu Bon getting up to 250 quickly in his polearm skill, which is just going to be even more devastation for the enemy. All right, so the analogy here, after we pound this city, we'll have a minute or two to go over this analogy. And it's a bell curve, right? There's certain areas of life that this applies to. The bell curve, basically, it's really difficult at the beginning, and then in the middle stages, it gets easier, and then as you keep doing it, it gets much, much better. There's 3 or 4 areas in life that I think of directly that this applies to, and the most obvious one is money. When I was younger, when I was the age of a lot of you fellows, I was fucking broke. Even when I was in the Coast Guard and I was getting a steady paycheck, and even when I was initially a firefighter, I was always broke, paycheck to paycheck, credit card debt. I had no fucking money. Sometimes I was eating a Taco Bell because I just didn't have money. Well, one of the funny things that happens in life is when you have credit card debt, you just basically stay poor forever. On the flip side of that, right, and this is the difficult part, of course, we just had a quest get accomplished, so I got to dump some units off here. If you can get ahead financially, and what I mean by that is eliminate all your credit card debt and then slowly start saving money, even if it's $100 a month, $200 a month, and invest it in stocks, invest it in Bitcoin, right? That ship has probably sailed, but invest it, period. Suddenly, your money's not working for you instead of the other way around. When I was young, I had like 8,000 credit card debt at one point, and I was literally paying $100 a month just to the bank for them loaning me that money. It's a disaster, right? Well, it works the other way around. This last 3 years, I made about 3 times as much money in interest in my investment accounts than I did from the considerably large deposits we were making. In other words, the money that we were putting in is much less actually than the money that the money itself is making, right? It's kind of a magical moment in an investment career, and you guys will get there, especially if you take my advice, right? Figure out a way, somehow, some way, to limit your spending early on and get your finances rectified. And of course, I recognize plenty of you guys have it sorted out already. It is an epidemic, though, especially in Western culture, where they encourage us to shop. Everything, shop, shop, shop. Be a consumer, right? It's Christmas. Go buy some shit for somebody they won't want. It's just a plague of shopping, and it's obviously it has very negative effects, many negative effects, and the main one is financial, right? You spend money either you don't have, or that would be better off in a savings account. I'm not saying don't buy your girlfriend something. I'm just saying be practical, be pragmatic, be realistic here. Incidentally, this same thing applies. We're almost through here. You won't have to wait through too many more of my rants. The same thing, though, applies to weeds in the garden. If you guys are just buying your first house, do not let the weeds take over. If there's a small amount of weeds, attack them aggressively, just like the Khazate here, and eliminate them. That way they don't fucking propagate. That means make more. That way they don't spew dandelion seeds all over your whole fucking yard, and it'll be way easier later. In other words, if you have a yard full of dandelions and every Sunday you pick half of them, you are wasting your fucking time, right? Just like the Khazate here, we could have fought them until the year 1289, right? And the Mongols come through and kill us. You want to eliminate things altogether because it gets so much easier at the end, right? At this stage, the Khazate are no threat, and if we can just smash through this city, the Khazate is finished, right? They have one big city left, and we're going to throw all of our weight at it. Of course, they have that castle too. Hopefully that companion of ours can take that, and we'll throw all of our weight at that last city. But I better cross this bridge right before we get to the next bridge. I'm going to make 3 power divisions here. Let's do the 4th, 5th, and 6th. The 6th will be infantry. I'm going to use them in a square to shove them through the hole there, right? It's very difficult still to get through a city siege like this when you're outnumbered, because the enemy's going to clog up all the entrances, right? They're going to put masses of troops. We're going to hammer them with projectiles from the outside with the 4th and 5th division, and then I'm going to manually shove this 6th Corps into the city in a square. Why not attack? Why not do this? Why not do that shield wall? All these other options. Because what I want is for them just to force their bodies through that hole. And we're not going to do it right away. It'll be calculated. But the idea is that this way, they're not trying to attack those guys right at the gate. It shoves basically a puncture point into the city from which we can operate. Once you get those guys inside, then we can start to maneuver other troops. What we want, though, is we want troops to start to shove their way inside and not fight at the entrance, right? So this is something, if you're struggling with siege, this will probably help you some. This 8th Corps looked like they were just going to charge into the city. It still looks like you get back here. I don't want archers charging in right now. Of course, we have these bombs going. That one just missed. That's going to help. Right, we have big advantages in this siege, but the obvious advantage the enemy has is they can hold their ground, position archers, and obviously just try to clog the doors. Now, like you see in most of my siege attempts, we're also going to apply pressure at the other side over here, right? I've got this 1st, 2nd. What else do we have over here? Maybe this 7th. We have an archer division over here. It looks like they're actually scrambling to the other side. So let's send these guys in and have them charge, right? I have this 1st. Okay, it is the 7th. The 7th we'll keep outside in case we need them on the other side. Those are archers, right? And basically that's a little bit of a counter to the enemy. The 3rd can charge, and the 2nd is going to be basically shoving their way in there. The reason we're doing that is we want the enemy to be occupied. We don't want them sending all of their troops to this side. Because we're about to go in, right? So the 6th, 5th, 4th, and 8th, all of these units are going to shove their way in. Now we're going to apply a little bit of fire at the beginning here, right? We're not just going to send all our units. The 6th, you just get shoved in there, right? Just tell those guys, you guys go there. And instead of fighting, those guys will now try to push their way through the enemy troops. Very important point there. You don't want them to charge, not at all. I just want these guys shoving their way in just like they are. Now there's a massive amount of Khazate here. Look at this shit. I feel like it's an ocean of Khazate. I'm just going to swing my axe until there's no more heads to cleave. And it's so many that these guys are having a hard time pushing through. But they will eventually push through. You can see them sort of squeezing around the edges. I'm going to use them as a wedge to help the rest of our troops push in, right? Basically, send that 6th. And now, while the enemy's distracted, the rest of the archers come in behind them. 4th and 5th Division. It'd be nice if we could get the 8th in here too. Now the death spam is good, right? Because we have higher quality troops. This siege, we might be able to F1, F3. I don't know though. They have a ton of reinforcements. And we don't have a lot of tactical advantages here, right? It's a very clogged courtyard. We're just basically going to have to brood it out at several locations until we can get some tactical opportunities. We may be able to use the stair. Of course, these stairs is fucking, it's a trick stairs. You can't use them. They put some fucking sandbags there to prevent them. There's so many forces here, I can't even jump over them. Yeah, we're not going to be able to push through that. Now, I can bring up other divisions outside and apply more pressure here. On the other side, I see units pushing and pressuring them as well, which is good. That's going to keep a lot of the defenses, even though I see reinforcements coming this way, that's a lot of forces that are going to be on the other side putting on pressure on the enemy. Now, some of those... Oh, shit. Our catapult guys just got a good shot in. Good job, boys. Of course, I can fire a few javelins here, but I really need our troops to do the work here. I think I can pull a division up on these stairs, but we'll see. These guys also may get flayed by archers. They've got about 50 archers there. If we attack with the 4th and... Oh, shit. We're getting scorched before I can even get these guys up here. This was a mistake. Let's charge with these 2 infantry divisions. I probably just killed these 40 archers. You can just hear them being peppered behind me. It sounds like a machine gun fire. There's no reinforcements coming. Alright, let's just charge with these 2 infantry divisions. I think I just killed these 30 archers. That's alright though, right? We have 1,000 troops. You can afford a mistake or two here. You're never going to have a clean siege defense here, right? The enemy has hordes of people. In fact, this guy got killed and lost his shield. Hey, can we have your stuff? His shield sliding down the steps. You got to appreciate touches like that in this game. It's amazing. All right, well, we're brooding it out with the 4th and 5th, which is not optimal, right? The enemy's bringing up tons of more reinforcements, but we can now start getting some of these archers positioned, right? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. The 8th Corps is coming up as well. There should be reinforcements imminently, too. The other side is a maelstrom. I just look across the courtyard here, and all I see is Khazate packed as tight as I can over there. Here is just brooding. This tactic is called brooding your way through with fucking elite armor, right? And I just pushed through. I only took a quarter damage of my whole health bar. That would kill you for sure if you were, you know, wearing normal armor. Wazu, though, is 7 foot tall and has elite armor. It's almost like the defenses fucking fled as soon as Wazu cut a path. Now we can start getting our units spread out. We've conquered the courtyard. The enemy's fucked. We can bottle them up over there with the square. Basically just stick it there and plug the hole. And now we can bring all of our reinforcements into the courtyard, right? We're going to be able to just... Legionnaires are running up. Die! Love it. Die, dog! All these aggressive fucking legionnaires and shit. I can get some archers on the stairs. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 archer divisions to play with. Of course, I gotta remember some of the archers are on the other side over there, right? It was, what, the 7th Corps? It's probably gonna get those guys killed, in fact, because by trying to move them, they are right at the gate, and they're gonna be, basically, who knows what they'll do, but it won't be good. Some of these units are on hold fire for some reason. I don't remember telling units to hold fire. Maybe I fat-fingered that shit. Sometimes I say finger-fucked. I'm not trying to be sexually crass. That's just, my brain is a funky thing. I can do square roots and do advanced tactics, but sometimes I can't remember how to say a word. Right? It's just one of those things. It's a weird thing. I call strawberries tomatoes all the time, even though I have both. And you know, my wife and I have huge amounts in the garden. Shoot, motherfucker. These guys are not shooting. Are you guys on hold fire too? They're not shooting. Why? They have line of sight. There we go. Okay, so for some reason, a lot of units were on hold fire. That's not going to get enfilade fire when the guys are holding fire. Look at that shit now, though. Arrows are now. We have the courtyard, and we're the ones raining death. Same thing with this archer division. Where's this guy? The 3rd. Let's drag them out and tell these guys to hold fire. They can fire too. Fire away. And the enemy, look at this guy running up with this sickle. That looks hilarious. He's running up with his scythe. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. He's just holding it over his head. That was awesome. Of course, he got shredded. No one will ever hear from that guy again, but that was cool. cool story, bro. All right, so we've got some Battanian Fiend champs in here wading through. We've acquired like 10 Battanian Fiend champs in this campaign. I said I wasn't going to go up to Battania and recruit them. We didn't. They just came to us, right? A lot of these are prisoners that we've been able to keep alive a long time. And at this stage, it's nice having, you know, 8, 9, 10 Battanian Fiend champs. We don't need them, of course, but I'll take advantage of it. You know, there's plenty of guys who want me to play in this campaign with huge disadvantages. We already have big disadvantages, but they're like, you should play with no units except the Aserai, or only minor clans. Well, with all the other disadvantages we have, we could never do that. We're fighting gigantic armies with souped up lords and mature kingdoms with lords who have unlimited money. And get free troops every day, literally out of thin air. You cannot win this if you're just fighting with a bunch of minor clans. Or if you did, it would take 9,000 episodes. Oh shit, we killed some. Those guys got fucking trucked by one of our catapults, one of our trebuchets. Alright, 8th Corps and 2nd Corps are in here to provide basically a shield and shock approach. I'm waiting for that 2nd Division to get up here with their shields. Then we will send the shock troops. It looks like they're getting into position. Of course, I'm distracted by just cutting guys to ribbons. You can see how beastly his armor is now, right? He's got a fine helm that's like 60. I mean, he's taking 20 damage from direct glaive shots. Of course, I can't get too confident. Just a couple battles ago, Khazate absolutely shredded me with 2 direct headshots. So, you know, sometimes you take a shot to the wrong part of your body. It doesn't matter what kind of armor you have. Just like that guy there. You get fucking slashed over the head by this glaive, and it's curtains. This glaive is awesome. It is fast. It's got one of those cool little ornate, like feathers or whatever on the end of it, so you can see it whirligigging around, and then there's a big jagged blade on the end of it. And I don't think any of these guys can match it for speed, right? Khans guards or any of these guys. And of course, Wazuban is only getting stronger because he's getting polearm skills left and right. Just every single swing, well, almost every single swing, we're getting polearm skills. These are like it. These guys are the last 6 guys or 30 guys or something, and they all yelled, "We can't die right here!" as they got insta-kill a second later. You see, that Lord took 282 and didn't die. So there's your advantages. You guys, we're trying to give advantages to the enemy, and it hasn't mattered, right? The battle is finished. We absolutely shredded 1,500 forces defending here. Of course, a lot of those were weak troops. There was plenty of militia, but that was a shredding right there. There's no question that was not tactically beautiful, but it was efficient. It was effective. 240 losses. All right, so we've got the little inner courtyard here. These complicated maze. Khazate inner courtyards, and I'm going to fight this out just because this is well, I guess too late now. The final battle, right, for, what is it, Ortengard? Oh shit, I'm in a bad spot here. I don't have a shield. Shot in the face. I'm going to get killed. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. It'll be really ironic if Wazuban gets killed by a bunch of fucking militia. I think we'll just hide. We'll let our guys roar and charge up there. But this is, you know, this is a big moment. The Khazate are on the deathbed, right? This is basically one of the last straws. Obviously, there's one other city, and there's a pretty good chance it's going to be heavily defended, right? Because all of their nobles will be congregating nearby. But this really is the death knell here for the Khazate. Just like these units that I'm just fucking sniping, the Khazate here are toast. Shit, I'm gonna get shot and killed and look like a bitch at the end of this episode. Let's get some cover here, and we'll just effectively auto resolve, right? This is the easy way to auto resolve. We'll just use the RTS mod. I'll try not to get killed here, and we'll let our guys run the rat maze that is these castle inner dungeons. Of course, these guys are having no problem shredding everything in sight. Don't forget, right? They probably get the 330 hit point bonus that Wazuban gets. And he's not quite to 330 medicine skill, but he's approaching it, right? So his troops, every single battle, get like an extra hit point or 2. All right, so I think it's a good spot for another break here. I got to get some hydration My mouth's starting to get dry. Hopefully it doesn't affect the narration. But I've got 800 prisoners to dispose of. Of course, we're going to stock the garrison here, equalize some of our units, right? Nothing too interesting for loot. We will dump a bunch of food, or whatever food we can, on Shikand. We're going to pillage, right? We're going to let our guys pillage. I don't want to devastate. I already had one companion leave. We don't need to lose some of our good companions just because we're trashing the city. A little bit of fancy editing here. Hopefully you guys don't mind me skipping over this kind of stuff. A little autosave, a little bit of fancy editing, and hopefully we are on our way to our final clash here with the Khazate. I want to do a perk or two here, especially since she's our scout affecting our movement. That's a vital thing. Anytime you have a scout that's affecting your movement, you want to keep those points upgraded, right? A lot of people use their own character, but we continue to use our companions. They're specialized scouts. Now, ironically, they're getting killed in this campaign faster than any of the other companions. It doesn't really make any sense, but that's been the flow of things. Now, our companion is still sieging here at Kim Lee Castle. We're going to head that direction because at this stage it looks like he needs our help. He's sieging never-endingly. That's usually an indication that they're disconcerted about the defense force there. These insolent Khazate want to give us a few pennies here for peace while we're about to take their whole kingdom. So let me think about it. No. And these fucks here, these sturgeons, just took this castle here. We're going to trap and destroy this force. It looks like they're actually coming in here to attack Shikand. Not on our watch, right? Our little attack dogs six them, and now we get to blow this force up. Now, we manifestly outnumber them here, but I'm looking at the power bar, and this is the kind of situation where I wonder if we do an auto-resolve, if we'll lose 400 units. I'm just going to start this, and look how many we're already losing. We lost 71 troops already. Fighting this force of 600. Let's do this manually. I know this is going to add time to the campaign, but this is a vital stage, right? We can't afford to get to our next city and have 500 attackers because they might have 2,000. The Khazate at this stage are really going to be concentrating their forces. So we're going to do tactics here quick. For those that are bored, apologies, but we're gonna show these if they're interesting. In this case, of course, I'm hoping it's interesting. We're going to try to completely dissect this sturgeon force. Now they've got a large block of cavalry on the left, our right flank. We will position on this high ground here and see what they do. A kill box here is likely, right? We're at least going to do some major flanking on the infantry. And I would have bet, this would be an interesting benchmark. I would bet if we auto-resolved, we would have lost 300 to 500 troops here, injured and killed. Hopefully we can have under 100 here in this destruction. And this is just one of those situations. It's a devil's, what is it? Pick your poison situation here. The sturgeons are manifestly outnumbered here, right? We have many more troops than them. Most people F1, F3 this situation or auto-resolve or whatever. But if I do that here, we're going to suffer dire losses. Now, they're playing defensive, which is fine. We like that, right? We'll move up here aggressively. I almost always take the defense to start, and then if the enemy takes a defensive stance like this, I will get in aggressively. So I have shield and shock on our right flank. That's the 2nd and 3rd cavalry. 1st infantry towards the front. And I'm basically just moving that 3rd and 2nd right at the enemy cavalry, right? Basically saying, you're going to fight whether you like it or not, right? We're going to move those shock troops and heavy horse. And it's done an interesting thing here. It shoved the enemy cavalry away. I did not anticipate them flat out pulling back like this. Fucking dipshit chasing me. Catch a javelin, you fuck. They do have quite a few archer units here, but they're out in front and they're way too tightly packed, of course, so they're all going to get skewered. I've got a lot of ranged units in this army, right? We want to have more shock troops, but I think we've been taking losses over the course of this extended foray into Khazate. Of course, Khazate represents probably the most difficult challenge for shock troops, right? They're shooting you with thousands of arrows. And obviously, shock troops, their biggest disadvantage and weakness is to arrows. All right, so we're going to start a swiveling formation here. I'm basically going to start to position units uphill and in a position to fold in on the enemy, almost like you're cooking here, right? They often say, like, when you're cooking, fold in these ingredients. Well, we're going to do exactly that, right? We're going to fold in these ingredients all right here, fold them right over the top of this sturgeon force. Now, they didn't like that cavalry charge. That seemed to jolt them into motion here. They're now starting to charge, which is the worst thing they could do, right? It doesn't really matter what they do here. They're going to get skewered. We've got the 2nd and 3rd Corps here just basically waiting to flank them. We'll start moving the 1st Division over. Look at the archers going to work, right? We must have 250 archers. So they're being shot to pieces on the way in. Over here, the 2nd, 3rd Division are going to bore in hard on the enemy's left. And this is a situation where I can't wait to get on foot with my men, right? This is an obvious melee situation. Their cav is pursuing our horsemen, but they're going to have a very bad time once they find out that there are shock troops behind their behind our cavalry. The infantry over there can be sent to charge. There'll be some losses there, but here's where we're really going to make our mark. And the reason we're charging there is to pin their infantry in place, right? The rest of our infantry now is going to bore in on the enemy's side. It's a classic shield and shock situation. In fact, you can see I'm just moving the cavalry forward and telling the 3rd Corps, follow me, boys. Follow me to glory, right? We're just going to barrel in here. Their infantry is now split in half because of our cavalry, and we can just carve these guys to shreds. I mean, it's just heroic line breakers being mauled. This Lord bitch, fucking catch a javelin, you bitch. Drilled her right in the back. The rest of their infantry is being completely swallowed up. The archers are shredding everything else. And it's incredibly green spam, right? Ham I am. This is definitely a Dr. Seuss battle here. It's absurd how badly the enemy is being shredded here. Got to deal with these archers. In fact, it looks like they've got some infantry that are either reinforcements or held back. But these are lower level infantry. In fact, a lot of these guys are fucking recruits and guys with Santa hats and shit like that. These guys here are just... The game puts them in here for you to just take out your anger on these trucks and shit like that. And we will do precisely that. Of course, we're not angry at this stage, right? Well, sometimes we'll play angry, but at this stage, Wazu is very content, right? He is rolling right along. His skill set's going up. His polearm skills getting strong, and his army is incredibly strong, right? Now that we have the 3-something medicine skill, or 300 plus engineering skill. Everything is shredded. Our troops are elite. Our siege skills are elite. We can carry a big army. We can jump, slice archers here. And let's take a look at the casualties. Look at that. That is the difference. So at 21 casualties, only 3 deaths. That's a third of what we suffered in like 5 seconds or 10 seconds of the auto-resolve. So the auto-resolve, we were losing almost a 1-to-1 KDR. You take it to the battlefield, and it's an utter liquidation of this Sturgeon force. So I apologize. Well, actually, I'm not going to apologize. We don't do that here, right? Unless I make some kind of faux pas. If I say like, oh, I fucking hate Japanese people, of course, I'm just making an example. I love Japanese people. Daijobu. Japanese folks are good folks, incredibly forgiving after World War II and the whole Hiroshima thing. We apologize and appreciate you fellas. Anyways, the point is that battle might be seen as superfluous in this campaign, but I really needed to do that at this stage. Can't afford to lose 300-400 troops when we imminently are going to have a big battle against the Khazate. Now, we don't have anybody else to gather, right? I'm looking around. There's no troops because that fuck left us. If you missed that part, we have only 2 minor clans that are with us, and one of them left. So the Aserai are doing their best down here, but I observed their forces got annihilated at Medeni Castle. They got captured, and they lost Medeni Castle. So predictably, the Aserai are getting stomped down there. Guzid, right? He likes to fight everybody and get stomped. Now, this is good, right? This is the Sturgeons are only fighting us and the Western Empire, I think. Yeah, so... They're getting plowed by the Western Empire. Every time that we fight the Sturgeons, it's just incredibly damaging to their campaign, right? They're being scorched by the Western Empire. They really should be begging us for peace. But of course, alas, no peace request. Okay, so we're going to race to this castle now. This should be a pretty easy take. In fact, there's a chance he takes it before we even get there. But I need his troops, and let me explain. After we take this castle, we're going to go for the jugular. We're going to attempt to siege their final city, Ortengard here, this gigantic city, and I need his troops. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to wait for him to do it. I'm going to go there, help him take the castle, and then, yeah, we'll take this city. Sorry, dude. You can have the next one. Maybe. Probably not. We're going to go ahead and help him take this castle. Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll give this castle to him, right? Since he's laboring away there with his siege weapons. He's he's using influence to keep that army alive. But for now, anyways, he's doing a pretty good job of maintaining it. And he has not lost, I got to say, right? I'm bragging about Jaime the Prince here. He has not lost a battle since he became a lord in our kingdom. Now, admittedly, we helped him in a situation where the Khazate were going to destroy him. I think that was last episode, but none of that shit matters, right? The guy's still undefeated. Even if you get help sometimes and you're undefeated, it still counts. So it looks like he just started to siege them. He's been taking forever. I mean, we sieged that whole city. No, he still hasn't started doing it. So we're going to force this guy to take this castle. 600 defenders, right? This is going to be a little bit of a challenge, and then we will hustle down to Ortengard and try to eliminate this Khazate threat once and for all. 600 troops. He's got a siege tower, a ram. In we go here. And unless this is interesting, this is another one of those situations where I'm just going to narrate to myself. So, hi there, self. Hey there, going into the darkness of eternity. The words that I'm going to say in the next 6 minutes probably won't be heard by anybody, but nevertheless, we shall see how this goes. Now, I don't have a siege tower. I thought I had a siege tower. I don't see one. I don't know why I don't have a siege tower. All right, we're going to blitz this with the 4th and 5th Corps. We do have siege, counter siege, blasting them. Oh, shit. They are firing in fire. Oh, shit. They have multiple catapults raining down death on us. Where's our ladders? There should be ladders right here. Oh, god damn it. We must have a siege tower. Unless they're around the corner here. No. Well, I must have missed it. I didn't see a siege tower. Now I see it. It's way down in the valley. That thing's going to take forever to get up here. So we're going to try to blitz the ladders. Oh shit, that's too far. He's got a little Wazu with his lack of understanding of gravity, right? Newton, all those guys are still 500 years away. Of course, they're all shivering from the church, right? Because if you tried to say that the Earth was not the center of the universe at this time, they just burned you at the stake. The whole fucking... he's basically saying blasphemy and shit like that. Science, right? It's also known as science. At this time, there was like the Inquisition was a couple hundred years off still, but they were already starting to scorch bitches who were saying shit like the Earth is not the sun revolves around the Earth. If you said the Earth revolves around the sun back then, it was like, come with us. We're gonna burn you to death tonight. That shit's against the Bible. I'm not trying. Oh shit! Fuck! They do have a lot of catapults. That's not good. Our guys are packed in a tight mass, and evidently, we've been on the giving end of this a lot, right? In our campaign, where you just obliterate a foe with fire catapults. But I think we're in a maelstrom here. I've got all these guys jammed up on the ladder here, and I don't know how. I don't know if I can even get to those catapults up there. I gotta. Oh shit! They're bombarding us. I see body parts flying off flying off the keep. I'm going to try to rescue my men here. I feel a little bit responsible because I've been a little careless with the approach here. I should have made sure that they didn't have lots of fire catapults. Maybe we should even have destroyed them with trebuchets. Shit, they got archers fucking stationed there. Fuck. You know what this actually feels like? This feels like a terrific situation for defense. Unfortunately, we're on offense. And what I mean by that is this is a really nice setup that the enemy AI has created here. They have a huge bank of archers just posted up right there on the roof of that building. It's going to be hard to get over to those guys. And they're smoking everything we send on these ladders. Worse than that, oh shit. Where are these catapults? I can't get to them. Motherfucker. And look at this, they're sending in tons of infantry too. This is a nightmare. As smart and as efficient as that battle was against the Sturgeons, this is the opposite. We are getting smoked. Look at that death spam. Those are militia on a fucking catapult obliterating our elite troops. I don't know what to do here. We're waiting for the siege tower to get to the other side, but it's probably still a little ways off. And I jammed up all these troops on the ladder here. This is... Well, quite frankly, this is a mistake. This is one of those situations where I wish I'd just delete this shit and be like, yeah, we sieged the castle. Success. We dominated, like normal, right? We don't make mistakes. But maybe I can use this as a scenario to show you guys that this game will fuck you sometimes, right? And I don't mean like I'm getting unlucky here, but the game sometimes does a pretty damn good job of combating our movements. I have like 6 guys here, 3 guys. We're gonna try to rush these fucking archers because these archers are impeding us getting up the ladders. They're smoking our guys as soon as they get up the ladders. Of course, we've done that and set that up for sieges. The enemy AI here, it's not learning from us. Unfortunately, it's not generative AI, but it's good coding in this case. Look at this shit. They're assaulting our infantry. They're defending their archer perch here. Fuck you guys. You guys don't have any axemen, do you? You guys should enlist some sturgeons. That way you can carve bodies to pieces like this. Let's see. Sometimes when heads fail, what does that Boromir say that in The Lord of the Rings? When heads are at a loss, bodies must serve, right? That's when they're in the snow. Of course, I didn't mean literally my head would have to serve and get hit by a Khan's guard. But we need to blow these archers off this ledge here. What do we have? 4 guys? 3 guys? Actually, it's just the 2 of us. This is not going to work. I need more troops here, and I fucking am in a bad spot. I literally have like 5 guys. They got 40 archers killing my units one after another, and I hear the explosions occurring around the corner there. That is those siege catapults continuing to obliterate our forces. We're being executed almost. This is almost like an extermination of our troops. So like I said, this is one of those situations where I imagine some guys who do a campaign on Bannerlord, they would just not show it, right? They would skip through it. Because I could just easily edit this. Nobody would ever know. You guys would never know. You would just assume it was a run-of-the-mill siege. Even if we succeed here at this stage, the enemy's done a really good job. And look at that shit. They just killed like another 30 elite troops. Now, fortunately, that one of the big advantages, huge advantages of high medicine skill and elite troops, I need this axe too. I realize I dropped my axe picking up javelins. It's probably slower, but it'll still function. Is you suffer really low death rates from siege, especially from siege because there's an additional perk that lowers damage on those siege bombardments. So, while it looks like we're suffering like 40 guys dead every, I don't know, what is that, every 15 seconds they reload that trebuchet or that catapult. Look at that shit. Most of those guys are just injured. All right. Let's gather a force right here. Let's see what we got on the other side because I want to get to that catapult the shooter of that catapult. Get back here, fellas. You're going to get shot to pieces. They're going to have forces defending here. This is nasty. The enemy here has us in a real bad bind. Apart from jumping off the walls and trying a different approach, which will be a little bit cowardly, I'm in a bad spot. I'm rallying troops here because I don't think they can hit us right here with catapults at least. But we're being mauled on the walls over there. The guys are still raping us with catapults. It's an absolute destructive barrage out there. And I'm a little bit trapped here. I have like 30 troops. I guess that will make a rush attempt here. I got to get to the main gate and open the gate. I've got archers to deal with here. And I think we're just going to have to fucking suicide drive these guys. I've got a quarter of my health. The enemy's actually charging us. Hold that thought. Let's pull back. We're still getting some troops up these ladders, I think. I literally have like 25 guys here. Even though we had 1,600 or something at the beginning of this siege, I feel trapped. And won't this be amazing if we fail this siege? Well, we're going to let our axe arm determine a lot here. These militia are pushing in here insolently. You fucking insolent militia. Let's chop off some limbs. I bet they'll lose their chutzpah real quick once they're dismembered. Again, I see huge red death spam. Their catapults, those guys deserve a medal. In fact, we'll try to recruit them into our army, whatever militia. And of course, this also highlights what a good castle this is. This is the same layout as Urzener Castle. The Khazate, actually, the more I think about it, they have some of the best castles for defense in Siege. That's something to consider if you're in a Khazate campaign, or if you're in a Northern Empire or an Aserai. It's not the worst idea in the world to take 2 or 3 Khazate castles strictly as defense locations, right? If you're being chased or in a bad spot, use these castles to devastate your foe. I mean, look at us. We're being devastated here. The enemy actually had the audacity to put archers back on the wall here. Wow, these guys are going to get fucking pounded against the wall. Fucking stack your bodies up. But they got guys charging us down in the fucking courtyard. It's a mess. I still have 500 guys piled up on the ladder. I think the door is open. The ram is over there. Let's get these guys moved to the front door. Get over here before we lose hundreds more to catapults. They're not getting off the fucking ladder spots. And this is sometimes... Oh, shit. There's a huge amount of militia charging us. Well, this goes from bad to worse. I mean, fortunately, it's militia, because we can kill these guys, but there's a fuck ton here. They sent hundreds of militia in here, like in a huge arena battle. Man, what a fucking mess. Tactical duncery in this battle. I mean, credit the AI here. They are doing about as well as they could. Look at, they're triple teaming, double teaming our units. I know they've still got a lot of forces too around the corner. Like, they're definitely going to be defending that door. When we get through these guys, it's not going to get much easier. They're going to have archers elevated. These militiamen are fighting for their lives. This is where these guys should be yelling, "I'll tear your limbs," right? If anybody, these militia should be talking trash, right? They should be like, because these guys, they did really well this battle. No, I think it's over. In fact, I just glanced at the power bar. Finally, we're through this thing. But here, a little golf clap here for the AI, right? That was about as good a castle defense as you'll ever see an AI pull off. And we lost half our force, or at least half our power bar. We'll see in a second how many we lost. But this was a really tough castle to take. 600 defenders, and we did. We lost almost 500. Fortunately, though, 135 deaths. That's a lot, but it's not calamitous. 32 from Wazu. We lost a bunch of palace guards. Now, which is what I mentioned before. Our army is very slowly turning from a shock troop-based army to an archer army, simply because of the losses, right? The palace guards are getting killed because they're in the thick of things. So Wazu needs more palace guards. We're going to go recruit some. I'm going to go back at some point or other and get some palace guards. First, though, right, on the docket now is Ortengard. And this feels like a momentous battle coming here. The Khazate are going to be defending the fuck out of this city. They only have one city left, right? And I don't think they have any other castles. That's a nice little benefit here. We can grab some troops from the garrison. We're going to leave kind of a skeleton crew here. And then we're going to take this other army and disband them. In fact, I'm going to skip this process for you here, save a little bit of time, and we will be on to Ortengard City. All right, well, that's going to have to do. I can't afford to leave more troops in there, so 738 plus a lot of wounded, that's going to help. You know what? Let's give this castle to Jaime the Prince. This will be his third fief. He worked for that one. Of course, he didn't actually siege it, but he started the siege. I like to give, we like to give some treats to our dogs here. Shh, don't tell these subordinates of mine I'm calling them a dog. The AI is a dog, right? They act like a dog. They run around, they shit on the carpet, they do all kinds of stupid shit. All right, so this guy just disbanded his army, and we're going to take all of his troops because we've got a big siege here. In fact, whoa, holy fuck, 3,635 troops in this fucking city. That is probably more than we can even attempt to siege here. 263 wounded. I've got nobody else to call. Well, the Sturgeons are kept busy. At least if we commit to a long siege here, there's probably not going to be attacks anywhere else in our kingdom. The Southern Empire and the Aserai are down here fighting in the sand. I think this is our opportunity, right? All the rats are in one trap here, and we can launch in against this Khazate force and do a couple upgrades here, especially that one's not that important. If there's any vital perks, we'll just do that shit later. I don't need a couple little perks is not going to make the difference here. What's going to make the difference is tactics. Right now we're going to heal. It says we have 129 wounded. In fact, I can share some of our wounded troops with our other healer, and they will heal faster. We do have a pretty strong looking army, right? We've got a lot of elite troops. We actually have 59 palace guards in my army, and remember, they get those extra hit points, right? So here's what I can do. I can take some of her elite infantry, and that'll add extra hit points to our army, right, with those units. So all these Vanguard Ferris go from her army, where they have 130 hit points, to our army, where they'll have like almost 200. We'll take... and what I want to do now is I want to give her injured troops. Not only are we still power leveling her healing, but we want her to help us get healthy here for this city siege. We're going to commit to a long siege here, right? This is called, and I think they used to call it literally investing in the siege, right? Because it's not something just a quick decision you make, right? We may spend a week or more building up siege weapons for this siege attempt. They might even sally out against us, which in a way would be better, even though we'd be outnumbered 2-1. It'd be better than sieging a city outnumbered 3-1. This qualifies as one of those don't try this at home kids. Of course, I don't mean that in a degrading way, even though some of you guys are young enough to be my kids. If I had, you know, a young wife when I was 25, what I mean is that this is not recommended. What the fuck? This one guy sallied out. Come with us. I think he thought the rest of the forces were going to come out and sally with him. Instead, come with us, dipshit. Remember what I said? Like, a certain percentage of society is a flat-out dipshit imbecile causing problems. You know, they're the fucks who crash in broad daylight and dry roads because they're texting. That guy was an imbecile. So let's see if they sally out here, right? 3,600 defenders. Yeah, we shall see here. These armies are bouncing back and forth, but it's holding. Usually if they're going to sally out against you in a situation like this, it happens right away. 3,500? It just went down. I don't know how that happened. They have tons and tons of food here, so we're not going to be able to starve them, but we might be able to blow a wall or two down, right, and gain every advantage we can. Speaking of gaining every advantage we can, right, we need 3 rows of javelins here. If we're going to win this siege, this stands to be a half hour, 45-minute, maybe even an hour-long siege. And it's going to take a little bit of time just to get the siege weapons built and destroy their counter-siege. 3,678 troops. So what's happening there is a strength and AI mod. They're getting deserters because they're over capacity, and then almost immediately they're getting those troops back because of the strength and AI mod. Right? It gives them free troops. Odok is besieged by the Khazate. Well, that's very suboptimal. Not only is that a long ways away, but if they take that before we siege and destroy this city, the Khazate won't be destroyed. In fact, they'll be very much alive because they'll have a city and an army out there. That puts even more impetus on hurrying this up. Now, Odok, I thought I put some good troops there. I don't. Man, it's a bunch of scrubs there. There's a small garrison. There's 400-ish troops there. So that's not going to last very long. That just means even more so we kind of have to hurry here. I'm going to give myself 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 days at most to do this before we have to launch in. Even what's happening here? Chaikand is besieged. That's the one we just took. The Khazate city, but that's the Sturgeons. I care less about that, right? They're next. If we destroy the Khazate, I'm going to take my fucking, my giant axe to the face of some Sturgeons. We are going to carry the war up north. I keep meaning to fight the Southern Empire, but I keep getting dragged to the north, and now this opportunity to destroy the Khazates is too ripe. Now, this is definitely a battle we can lose. I don't have to tell you that. I probably didn't even have to mention that, right? We're fighting... talk about an uphill battle, right? An entrenched enemy guarding a huge city, tier 3 walls, and they have 2.5 times our number. And they're going to have elite troops, right? It's not like they're going to have 3,600 peasants. Although, you know, they do have 400 militia. That's going to help, right? At least some of their troops are going to be weak. And we're going to have a strong army. So this is not suicidal, right? It's crazy like a fox. Of course, we're going to try to blow a hole here in the walls. I'm very much watching the date. I want to launch this siege before the 14th, the 15th at the latest. And what I mean by that is spring 15. Of course, we're dominating their counter siege. There's no question we're going to be able to attack this without any major catapults. What I want is to blow down at least one of these walls. Take a look here at Odok again. This is spying, but I don't know if this is a gimmick. Some people might even consider it an exploit. They have not yet began to assault Odok, which is good, right? That means that the Khazate are also taking their time. They might even be building siege. It is very much a race. If they take Odok before we take this city, then this whole brutal, difficult siege attempt, it won't matter, even if we happen to succeed. There's definitely a chance we just have to retreat here, right? You can get into a siege where the enemy has such a strong defensive position where you can't win. All right, so we're building a fire catapult here. I'm going to try to build 2 overnight. We're going to launch as soon as we have their catapults down, and maybe we'll be able to get 2 fire onagers up. It's going to be close. I want to destroy... Damn it, they got 2 catapults here. Come on, Trebs, do your fucking job. Catapult to Ortengard is cracked. Come on, hit that fucking thing. Okay, there. Perfect. They don't have any catapults. We have 2 fire onagers. Here we go. You guys want monster fucking battles, right? Here we go. 1,700 against 3,800. Let's do this shit, boys. We got 6 more guys to give upgrades here and 3 more fucking prisoners. And this is going to be gnarly. Ooh, big deep breath here. This is one of the most important battles in this campaign. Now, we won't be captured. That's usually not how it works. Of course, they may sally out against us if we have to retreat here. But I'm treating this like retreat is not an option. Wazu Bond does not like retreating. Now, we do have the battle size mod loaded. During one of the auto saves, I bounced out and loaded the battle size mod, which is good, right? Because that means at least we have a bunch of units on the field, but that also means the enemy's going to have gigantic forces. They're going to have probably 1,400 units inside the city. So I'm going to try a little different approach here. We're going to try to storm this left side where there's a big hole here, but we're going to do so after, again, we send forces in on the left. I said the left. We're going to attack the right. I'm going to have a division that, actually, I might even do 2 divisions. I'm going to have at least 1 division that I shove in via square, provide as a wedge for our archers, and let's see, 4th, 5th, the 5th and 7th division, almost certainly we're going to try to get inside the city as big archer blocks and start to get some enfilade fire, start to set up on the defenses, right? Start to actually use the defenses to our benefit. And then on this right side, or left side, I keep getting the sides reversed, we are going to send a distractionary force, right? We try to keep the enemy occupied over there. The ram will come down the center, and hopefully there won't be all of their forces over here on the right. Alright, so let's get these guys moved up in a hurry. The 8th Corps. The 8th Corps has a mix of crossbow and good-looking troops. So here's what I can do. I can actually have 2 different squares over here. We're going to save ammo early on, too. Why? Because this is going to be a long siege. I haven't said this in a little while. Strap yourself in, fellas. You're about to witness a fucking awesome siege assault attempt. We don't know if it's going to work well, right? We can definitely have... It could be just like that last castle, where it's brutal. However, we've got gaping fucking holes to shove our way in here. I don't want these guys just pouring in, right? I want them holding the line until we get our units in place here, but we are going to rush this left side too. Our fire catapults are going to work, blasting their units still. The enemy doesn't have any counter siege now. We destroyed it. I've got this division of all javelin throwers. In fact, the whole division looks like Aserai Ferris. Maybe even they're all Vanguard Ferris, right? Or at least mostly Vanguard Ferris. Of course, the enemy has a huge amount of troops there, but we're not going to charge. We're going to send in units and hopefully be able to shove right through these 200 infantry. So I've got this division here just sparring with them while we move our archers up. The flaming arrows are starting to scorch everything. This is going to be a beautiful cinematic battle. Now I gotta hope, of course, we don't have any stuttering or issues. Sometimes with the strengthen, not the strengthen, but with the battle size mod, you get all kinds of stuttering or even crashes. So again, I may be narrating into space just like a second ago with that castle siege that went badly. Cross our fingers there, and then we'll cross our fingers that we can execute here, right? And I mean that quite literally. We have to execute tactics here and execute the enemy, or we're going to be the ones that get shredded. All right, square number 1, right into their midst, right? In they go. Archers are spraying here. We can actually charge with those guys. Some of those guys will go barreling in. I'm going to fix this real quick. Sorry about that. I want our side to be visible, but not these horribly bright orbs ruining the visual effect of this battle. 4th Corps charges over here. I've got 2 separate squares, one of them holding fire, right? The 8th Corps is archers, a mix of archers and infantry, and they're holding fire sitting over here in the corner. That's because I need those guys' ammo for later, right? When we get inside this city, it's not like, you know, we just get through the walls and the battle's going to be over, right? They're going to have endless fucking forces attacking us. Well, I guess not endless, right? We would probably lose if they had never ending. They've got a lot, though, and what we need to do is try to get forces established in there with good enfilade fire. All right, so square number 1, in you go, boys. That's the skirmisher division. We're going to have those guys hold fire. That way they're keeping their shields up the entire time. Once they're in there, maybe we'll have them throw some javelins, but right now they have one job, and that is blow a hole, right? Shove through these defenders, Some of our other troops are attacking here, and that's mostly distractionary. I just want them sort of grabbing some attention before we send the rest of our troops. Okay, the square's pushing in, and it's attracting a bunch of the enemies, which is perfect, right? You see how it's pulling a lot of troops away? Now I'm going to try to physically drive this other fucking train in here. These guys are all attacking me, that's fine, and I'm in. Now I'm going to be able to pull these divisions inside. Now some of them will die on the way in, right? They're running by this enemy infantry wave, right? They're basically in a fucking incredibly violent situation. But a lot of them will survive, right? Continue pulling this square away from the enemy. I want them away from the main gate. Now if they don't attack them, we'll open fire and throw javelins in their back. Our catapult just had a direct shot on a big group. That's good. Of course, the enemy still got elite troops here. But we're already blowing a hole over here. They've got archers raining down fire on us, but that's going to change once we get this 8th Corps spread out and firing, right? We're going to be able to return fire. God, there's a lot of losses. These guys are totally surrounded. This 6th Corps is just sacrificial. No, not charge. Fuck, follow me. Let's try to drag these guys away from the enemy. I'm basically trying to pull the enemy away from our main body of troops. The further we can get those 6th guys dragging all that infantry gives us more room for us to operate. The 8th Corps can break loose here and open fire. Their archers look like they're scrambling. I'm not sure if they realize they're fucked if they stay there. They would be, because we'd be spraying arrows up there. That's actually good AI. They were about to get wholesale murdered. But that also means that the enemy has essentially just given us this side of the keep, right? I've got this 8th Corps here. These guys can be loose. Told to fire. The enemy's pouring archers around to the other side. Fuck no, we attack. The other side is sort of occupying the enemy. That's why I think a lot of these archers are heading that way. There's a huge amount of enemy troops over there. Alright, I've got all kinds of levers to pull over here now. Right? Mostly, though, at this stage, we're going to spar at range. The enemy is shooting us, but we're going to have much better archers. Hopefully I can get them spread out in nice little arcs here right around their units. Now, we can also shove units right into their face again in a square. I don't want those guys attacking. I just want them in the archer's face while we wave a magic trick in front of the enemy's face, right? By the time the enemy sees it, there's going to be 200 archers spread out here on their flank. I'm having a hard time. There's just enough room inside this city to get these units spread out. Should probably stay on my horse. I don't know if there's any room around the back of this. There might be. We'll see. I might investigate behind this current alleyway. For now, I think this is going to work. The enemy's really bottled up, and we're not, right? I've got an infantry square just shoving into the heart of their archers. That was a huge death wave. I don't know what would cause that. They don't have any siege. Maybe our guys, you know what might have happened there? Our own fucking guys, I think, just killed our guys. Our catapult guys drank one too many ales. Alright, so this infantry square is doing a good job, right? I'm attacking around the margins, and more importantly, our archers are starting to set up. And start to see if we can't get set up down this next alleyway. I'm really surprised there aren't enemy troops here. It does seem like they're all stacked up on the other side of the keep. Part of that's luck, but of course we're applying pressure over there. There's a bunch of archers right here, so if we can get archers in this alleyway spread into a big group. I don't have any divisions to break. I wish I had 10 divisions here. I would happily command 10 to 12 divisions. Span of control be damned, right? Okay, so there's a huge amount of troops on that other side there. Open this door here so that reinforcements can come right through. Wazu tells the door to go to hell. Let's see if I can I might be able to get archers set up here beautifully. These are, of course, the enemy's defensive works, but we can now use them to our own advantage, right? If I can get troops set up here, they will be raining down arrows on the enemy. The enemy, for sure, at some point or other, is going to attack our positions here. Not maybe, for sure. Right? They've got probably 3,000 troops. Of course, we're whittling them down, right? I see these infantrymen of higher quality working them in the center. We're definitely taking losses. And it's very bloody fighting down there, but I like our position, right? We're now starting to spread out archers in defensive arcs. Infantry just came through the main gate. In fact, let's give those archers way over there some infantry to deal with, right? We'll just send them over in a big old square right into the fucking midst of those archers. Fuck you guys. These guys, I'm having a hard time. The UI is not terrific. I'm trying to set up archers up here, and we're kind of getting scorched setting up. Come on, boys. Spread the fuck out. Let's try the scatter around. I don't use the scatter around mod, but sometimes the scatter around command will work okay. I'm just going to have to... Those guys are just going to be... I mean, I guess I could pull them one more time. Come on. Spread out right here. Yeah, just like that. All right, good. That infantry division can charge. The death spam has turned distinctly green. We've got the enemy penned up on the other side there. Now, they're firing back, but man, are we hammering them. The infantry's bursting through the front gate, yelling explicatives. The 6th Division, we can use these guys here. What I'm thinking about at this stage is I need to start setting up defensive corridors because the enemy is going to countercharge us. I'm surprised they haven't already. There's no way they're going to let us just systematically take their whole city, right? There will be violent reprisals for our actions here. Now here, there's a maelstrom, and our guys are executing Khazaits. Our archers are starting to work. I see the flaming arrows scorching everything over there. These guys are set up beautifully. More Khazate forces are charging the front gate, but these are archers. Very bad decision there, fellas. You guys just ran yourself to death. Now, they got some higher-end archers over there. We've got the enemy in a really bad spot here. And we've got to, right? We've got to attain, what, a 3-to-1 KDR for us to win. At least a 3-to-1 kill ratio. Up there, barreling in here with a large force. I'm watching these 3 different sides here. Our archers are definitely sparring. I see the arrows going both directions. But we probably have more archers set up there, and I've got this other division to add to them. What do we got going on? The square's being mauled on the stairs. That was predictable, though, right? Those guys are going to get all of the attention of the enemy on those stairs. All those archers are thundering down after our guys here. I've got guys that are actually coming up the other side. I can sort of see them with my X-ray vision through the walls. And those are guys that are on the other side there, right? Those are the guys that are coming through the other hole in the wall. Get off. Okay, they're sending scattered units this way, but that's not a good decision. Wazu Ban likes enemies one at a time. I hear yelling and screaming over here and lots of death. What do we got going on here? It's just a massive amount of enemies. It is. There's a huge fracas here. It looks like a fucking football fight. There's just hundreds of guys on both sides. I've got a bunch of archers here that can't shoot. I might have to charge at them at some point. See if we can get better line of sight here. Sometimes line of sight is like the bedroom, right, fellas? Sometimes what you're doing ain't working. You got to do a little something different, and then all of a sudden the sounds get different, and you keep doing that shit. You can learn a lot from Bannerlord or in the bedroom. Right? Sometimes the shit in the bedroom teaches you about Bannerlord, and sometimes vice versa. Foot massages, right? We've already mentioned that before. I'm feeling comfortable enough in this battle now to talk about foot massages. You know I'm feeling pretty good. These guys are horrifically bottled up. Our infantry's boring in on one side, and we've got archers spraying them on the other side. Kill these fucking guys. These 2 militia somehow got by. They get pounded. God, they have a lot of troops boring in here. It's just literally 30 feet deep of troops. They're surging in like a giant organism. But they're also getting carved to ribbons. There's a lord here. I think we're winning, but I don't know. It feels good, but you just don't ever know in a siege like this, right? We're so badly outnumbered. I mean, there's a lot of death still, too, right? What do we got back here? What division is that? Is that the 6th, 7th, 91? The 7th? Let's bring those guys up, too. I don't know what they're doing back there, but we need every single troop up here. God damn, it's a fucking scrum in there. We need our shield here in case they start shooting. Now, a lot of these are archers, and they're not shooting. Of course, they're bottled up. Every once in a while, you see an arrow fly out of their mask, but for the most part, they look like fucking sheep going to slaughter. Here's our 7th Corps. These guys are going to be able to spread out, and we still have elite troops. We have not ran into our Tier 3 units yet. That's a good sign. Some of these guys can charge, right? Some of these guys are not archers. Get in there. We need every single sword on the enemy here. Cut these footmen down. is up here. 8 in the 3rd Corps. We can split the 8th. We've got them really pinned against this fucking intersection here. They're trying to surge, I think, to the front gate to deal with the threat there, and we just have wicked flanking fire on them now. They're being scorched with arrows. Every once in a while, a few guys comes and charges our direction, and it's carving city, right? They just look like lambs to the slaughter. And they got guys 12 foot deep here. It's an incredible amount of troops, but obviously the enemy AI is not using these guys very well. They are just standing there getting butchered. Some of them are definitely attacking. I mean, it's chaos back here. Heads are flying all over the place. It's an incredibly bloody battle. I mean, God, this is nasty. Getting shot. That did a lot of damage. Got shot in the neck. They might have some elite troops still back there. I gotta be careful. Do here. This side here, I see massive amounts of Khazate charging down the other that said 500 infantry are charging the other ladder way. Let's try to help those guys here. We don't have very many guys left here, but let's bore in here, try to pin these guys down. That way these guys can't join the other Khazate reinforcements, right? If we can do our part, the enemy won't have a pincher action on the front gate, right? They'll only have the guys that they're sending down the other ladder way, the other alleyway. Yeah, they're really zerging that front gate. We still got 1/3 of our health. We're still looking good here. These Khazate are slaughtered. They literally are just surrounded and getting shredded. They're trying to rout and they're just getting fucking cut apart over the fucking haystack here. Our flag is like fucking posted up. Come on, boys. We've almost got this shit. There's just a zerg of our enemy forces there just swallowing up the enemy. Nothing I can do there. I wish I could pick up a flag and still swing my two-handed axe, right? Stick this shit in the back of my... Put it in one of the javelin bags and just carry around this flag while I'm swinging my axe. There's a huge amount of troops here, but these are weak troops. These are militia, nomads. They're still shooting us. They still have a lot of archers on that other side. You fucking assholes. Wonder why these guys aren't attacking them. Get up there, you stupid fucks. They have 500 infantry on that other side still. So this battle ain't over yet. Let's just hold fire with all these guys. They evidently can't get line of sight. This will send every archer charging with a weapon at somebody. Charge. All you bitches. Yeah, they got lots of strong end archers up here. I see lords up here. This is like their vanguard. This is their strongest little pocket of troops. They got Battanian Fiend champs here. They've got infantry shredding our troops on the other side there. That's bad. We gotta wade in here. This noble, I got an axe for you. I caught you. I caught you, all right. Fucking Battanian Fiend champs in their army. Kill these fucking Khazate. Got this shit. Come on, boys. It's close, but we fucking got this shit. These guys can now start to fire away now that they're up here. Hopefully these guys have good line of sight on the enemy down in the courtyard. They're still fighting here. They got cons guards wailing away. Start shooting. There we go. Flaming arrows right into the face of the enemy. These guys spread out and start shooting. I'm going to join them down there. It smells and feels like victory. Come on, boys. Let's go. What do we got? 60, 80. Yeah, we've got under 400 troops left. 2, 3. Oh no, we've got just over 500 troops left. Normally don't do that to you guys, but I'm trying to get an idea of what I've got for troops to work with here. Let's fucking get these guys into business, charging into action. I might have to flank around the enemy's rear here. They're all jammed up here. These archers can't see shit. Let's investigate this side here. They still have a huge amount of infantry on that other side. It does look like recruits, though. Look at the death spam. Nomad, recruit, recruit, recruit. I think this siege, this city is ours. And run down my horse here. He's like trying to run away. He's like, no, no, not more battle, man. I just want some hay. We're going to ride our fucking horse to glory in this battle. Let's spread out archers here. This will also cut off the retreat of any Khazate trying to get away. You bitches aren't getting away. Fucking carved apart by Wazu. They got some guy all mangled here against the fucking bags of flour. Look at that shit. That is sadistic. This guy's like, they like killed him and chucked his body up here with the flour. Man, I told you guys no torture. Alright. A little bit of torture is fine. And this is it. This is the end of the Khazate right here. Unless they take that city, like in the next day or two, Odok, and I don't think they can. You're watching the extermination of the Khazate in this campaign, right? I didn't see Monchug's name here, but for all intents and purposes, we're going to roleplay. Because I think what happens is they all exit the game, or they become estranged from... They become no longer a kingdom, right? And so I think these clans effectively roam the map bereft like orcs without without the Dark Lord, right? There's just blood painted through the whole courtyard here. Well, they're going to be able to grow great crops here after this battle, right? 3,700, 3,800 Khazate put away here. And it wasn't easy, but this was a big, successful win for us in this campaign. Celebrate with our men here. And a picturesque evening, early morning here, victory against the Khazate. 336 survivors. We did go through almost all of our troops. We were down to our last 300, but no deaths. I observed critically, none of our companions died in this epic battle. Wazuban made it the whole way through. That's amazing too. It's very difficult to survive a siege like this long. Lots of skill perks for all of our units. I gained 1 tactic point for that. Come on, man. I mean, I understand it's because I have a low learning level, but you should just get lots of tactics for that. That was tactics galore. Oh, and we let out a sigh of relief here. And for you Khazate fans, you know, I'm sympathetic to you because we're going to take all of these prisoners, all of these upgrades. Hopefully we get some nice loot here. And I think the Khazate is going to be no more. I think this does it for him. See what kind of loot we get here. Hopefully some legendary glaives and shit. Not a damn fucking thing. That's alright though. We've gotten some amazing loot in the last couple 3 battles. I won't complain. Someone declared, yeah, Khazates has been destroyed. It's just declared war. So these are all the clans that used to be Khazate. They're all at war with us now, but they're no longer united. This is Germany, you know, in the 1780s before Bismarck and everything else. We'll pillage this city here, let our troops sack the city a little bit, right? And they're not going to be able to just burn and destroy the whole fucking thing, but a little bit of pillage. The city's expecting it just like my troops are expecting it. My dipshit fucking pacifist, Jaime the Prince. Shut the fuck up. We'll have peace with whoever I say we have peace with. And I need a shower after that fucking... After this episode and that battle. After that really hard siege. We've got this little celebratory, the Khazate are no more. We'll let the crows pick the eyeballs out of these Khazate after these fucks stomped us. They got what they deserved, right? These motherfuckers wanted war with us nonstop, and they angered the most dangerous and violent person in Calradia, right? You turn Wazuban into a psychopathic maniacal murderer, and this is what you get. We get a little autosave here, hour and 30. This is going to be a really long episode, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to make this all one huge episode. The destruction and downfall here of the Khazate. Now, we're going to have to deal with these sturgeons. These motherfuckers are sieging Chaikan. But see, the siege goes away at Odok, and that's because the Khazate are no more, right? They're no longer able to siege that city. So now it's just Sturgia, right? Next, the old basketball court saying, right? You guys are fucking next. We're coming for sturgeons, and we got an axe, literally, to grind with these motherfuckers. Now, Wazuban is starting to really look like a badass in this campaign, right? He still doesn't have gray hair. Maybe we'll color his hair gray with just for old guys. But Wazuban is really starting to play the role here of choose your pick, either nemesis or protagonist. All right, if you enjoyed this campaign, of course, you fellas, you want to subscribe if you want to see more. I appreciate you guys. Please hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time.